Hey, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name's Christina Kent and I'm an artist based out of San Francisco. And today I wanted to reflect on my goals and my progress on my goals for 2023 and then talk about my new goals for this year, 2024. And I know I am a little late to the game with this. We are already a month into 2024. So yeah, but what can I say? Better late than never. And before I get into the my goals for 2023 and talking about my goals for 2024, I wanted to say why I'm making this video. The first reason is to help motivate myself, because I find when I tell you guys my goals, then I feel a lot more motivated to stick with them and to pursue them. I feel like it helps hold me accountable. But the second reason is I hope it inspires you as well. And I hope that if you're an artist or if you're pursuing anything creative, if you have any creative projects or even like a small business or whatever, that by hearing my goals and hearing what I'm planning on doing, it can help inspire you for your own career or artistic projects. And I also want to recognize that everyone's situation is different. So like my goals and my accomplishments are all related to my own circumstances in life. And I just want to be like really mindful of that as I'm talking about my goals, that like I don't want to compare or I hope that you don't compare your goals to mine in a negative way, and that you just get some positive inspiration in that, kind of we're all in this together, setting goals and trying to achieve things. I think goals are very personal, and yeah, goals should be tailored to your own personal circumstances. So your goals are not going to look the same as mine. They should not look the same as mine. They should be really tailored to whatever you're dealing with in life and and where you want to be next year. So with that being said, let me reflect on the goals that I had for 2023 and how I did. So in 2023, one of my main goals was to start to do more large paintings. Before that, I've been doing a lot of small scale paintings, like daily paintings that were like 6 inches by 6 inches, and I was enjoying doing that. But over time, I realized I wanted I wanted to see my ideas on a larger scale. I wanted to make some larger paintings, and I was really enjoying the impact that larger paintings could have. So last year I set the goal of, I think it was to do around 12 large-scale paintings, and I'm really happy to say that I ended up exceeding that goal. I think I did maybe more like around 20 large-scale paintings, so I did a lot of large work, and I'm really proud of myself and that I was able to do that, because for a long time, making larger paintings was actually something that really intimidated me. And even today, I still feel intimidated whenever I'm starting a large painting. I'm not totally comfortable with doing it. But I think over the past year, I got a lot better at facing that fear and just going for it with these large scale paintings. So that's something that I'm really proud of myself for. Another goal of mine for 2023 was to continue learning and improving, kind of in the same vein of doing these large paintings, but this was more targeted learning. So I wanted to do more workshops with painters that I really liked. And I started off okay with this goal. I was taking a workshop with the painter Zoe Frank at the beginning of the year, but then I just got so busy with my day job and with other things going on that I ended up missing some of the classes and wasn't able to finish the workshop. And so I was pretty disappointed about that. So I decided to wait a few months and not sign up for another workshop until I was really certain that I would be able to devote the time necessary to that workshop. So I didn't sign up for another one until August. I did a workshop with Claudia Rilling, and that was an amazing experience. I had ample time set aside for the workshop, and I really felt like I got a lot out of it. So even though I kind of had a rough start with the workshop at the beginning of the year, I am really happy that I did this workshop later in the year, and I learned a lot from that experience. Another goal of mine last year was to develop my work with local galleries and interior designers. And in that sense, I think I did pretty well. I ended up doing several group shows with local galleries last year. I even was invited to a small group show at Studio Gallery in San Francisco, which was a really amazing experience. It gave me the opportunity to show a lot of pieces all at once, rather than just having 1 or 2 pieces in shows here and there. And I really enjoyed that, because I feel like having shows with local galleries, I love the experience of being able to go to the gallery, go to the opening, to meet people who are interested in the work and get to talk with people face to face about the work. So that part was really helpful. I also feel like since I've been doing larger paintings as well, a lot of people like to see those in person before they consider purchasing them, or at least that's how I feel in my experience. So I feel like having more connections and working more with local galleries is really helpful also in like a business sense. I haven't worked with too many interior designers yet, but last year I did get to work on one really big commission for an interior design firm, and that was super exciting. A friend of mine, his office was actually looking for artwork by local artists, and so he put my name forward. So huge shout out to my friend, like that was really amazing. But that's how I was able to get that opportunity to work with an interior designer. And I'm hoping that in the coming year I can continue that work. Another goal I had last year was to make my own online store. And it didn't take me too long to do, and I was able to accomplish it. But I do think it was an important shift for my art because previously I'd been selling my work on Etsy, which I think is a great marketplace, and it makes it really easy to sell your work, and you can, create a shop very easily. They have everything streamlined. But ultimately, to me, I think of Etsy as more of a craft platform and less a place to show fine art. I think there are a lot of fine artists who do sell their work on Etsy and have a great experience, but I really wanted to be able to create sort of like a tailored experience for collectors. And so I think moving my shop to my website for me was really helpful and was a big step forward in my art business. So I'm really happy that I was able to do that last year. I also set out to make more content and make content consistently. And I'm happy to say that last year in 2023, I made a YouTube video, I think every single week without missing a week. So if you are longtime fans of this channel, I hope that you've been enjoying all the videos this past year. And if you're new to this channel, I hope that you get a chance to check out some of my videos from earlier in the year. I think you'd like them a lot. But I'm really happy with how I showed up in creating content and connecting with all of you over the past year. And I've gotten so much great feedback and comments from all of you. And that really means so much to me. So thank you for sticking with me on this channel. And then my last goal was to expand my art studio space, which when I set that goal, I was just thinking of carving out more space in my living room for making my art. Because if you've been following this channel, you've probably seen my other studio tour videos where I was painting out of my living room. And I did manage to do that. So I used to be in a corner of my living room, and then I took the time to make a larger space, like take up kind of a whole wall of the living room and do my painting there. But then towards the end of last year, as I was doing more larger paintings, I realized that if I wanted to do large paintings, I really needed more space. And so it was kind of the end of summer last year, I set out to looking for a studio space in San Francisco. And so I'm really happy to say that I was able to get that studio space. It's where I'm talking to you now from my studio. And that has been just a huge, huge benefit for my art practice, especially given that I wanted to do all these large scale paintings. I ended up creating many large pieces for my solo show, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have this large studio space. So that was something, I think, like for that goal, I kind of went above and beyond, and I'm really happy that I was able to not just make a larger space in my home, but actually move to this larger separate studio. So with that in mind, what are my art goals for 2024? My first one is to continue pushing myself and challenging myself in my art practice. And I was thinking a lot about what that would look like in terms of a specific kind of measurable goal that I can set for myself. So I think the measurable goal I want to set is to make 2 large-scale paintings every month. I think that would be a good challenge for me compared to what I did last year. And it would continue in this vein of challenging myself by making larger work. Because like I said, I'm starting to get more comfortable making larger paintings, but it's still not in my comfort zone. I still feel a lot of fear around starting a large painting. And also I'm still learning to adapt the way that I used to paint on smaller pieces to these larger canvases. So I still find that there's a lot of challenges, a lot of growth in doing large-scale paintings. And I'm looking forward to doing more of those this year. Also, if you're someone who paints small and is curious about large-scale painting and how it's changed my practice, I'll be posting a video about this soon. My next goal is to connect more with the art world, and this is both with the broader art world, but also specifically with with my local art scene. So thinking about how to frame that. So, and the reason why I wanted to set this goal is because I didn't go to art school. I don't have an MFA or anything. And for the most part, I've been working a lot from my home or by myself in my studio, and I don't actually know that many other artists. Most of the interactions that I have with artists have been through Instagram, which is great, and I think it's like an awesome way to get exposed to new work. But I really want to build connections with artists in my area that I can meet with face to face, and also start seeing more artwork in person rather than just on my screen. And so that goal of connecting more with my local art world, I think that's a very sort of amorphous goal. So to put it in specific terms, I think and I've been trying to think about what are the concrete measurable goals that I can make out of this. And so I think what I'm going to set for myself is to try to do 2 studio visits with other artists each month. So either I go to their studio or they come to my studio just to meet new artists and start building more connections with local artists here. And then also to attend 2 art exhibitions at galleries in San Francisco or in the area every month. So being in San Francisco, there are so many galleries here, and they have shows, pretty much new shows every single month. So I have a lot of opportunities to go see art and see contemporary, what contemporary artists are doing. And so far, I honestly haven't been taking advantage of that. So so this year I really want to, get out there, start seeing shows, start meeting other artists, and just get more connected to my local art scene. Another goal of mine this year is to create a clear schedule for myself, a clear studio schedule. One thing that I noticed last year was that I got a lot of things done. I feel like I was really productive, but I was also really stressed out most of the time, and I felt like I was constantly rushing to meet deadlines and putting out fires and doing everything at the last minute, and that just was not a good headspace to be in. So this year I want to set a schedule for myself where I have set studio hours where I'm either painting or coming up with different ideas, sketching, things like that. And then I have set hours for my admin work and for content creation and those sorts of things, so I can have some separation and also hopefully start planning things out more too. I think if I have these set schedules, then I'll be less tempted to be working on an Instagram post when I meant to come to the studio and paint. I think it'll force me to plan things a little bit better. And so because that's kind of what I'd like. I want a schedule. I want to plan my work in advance so that I'm not always chasing deadlines. And I think that scheduling my work and setting boundaries also around my time is going to be a helpful way to do that. So those are my main goals for this year: to continue challenging myself with my work and doing that through creating 2 large-scale paintings each month, to connect more with my local art community through doing studio visits with other artists and going to see art exhibitions each month, and then also to, better organize my workflow by setting clear hours and clear boundaries in my schedule for all the different things I mean to do. And then there's one more thing I wanted to mention. This isn't really a goal, but it's more of an intention, is that So I've noticed, for me, if you can't tell, I'm very achievement motivated. I really like to, set goals, achieve them, do ambitious things, and check things off my to-do list and kind of rack up one achievement after another. I get a lot of, I really enjoy the pursuit of goals and achieving things. But one thing that I've noticed, and I think that's a great, I really value that, and I think in some ways it's served me really well. It's helped me get my art into galleries and make a lot of artwork and really push myself, and I enjoy all these accomplishments. But one of the things that I've noticed is that I can get into this achievement mode and be just so focused on achieving the next thing that I don't actually savor the things that I have achieved and appreciate those things. And sometimes I think I enjoy the process of pursuing goals, but I'm also very stressed as I'm in that process. So so sometimes I think it comes at the cost of having a sense of peace and a sense of okayness. I'm always striving, if that makes sense. So this year I would like to have my goals and set them, but hold them a little less tightly, if that makes sense. Like pursue them, but in a slightly more balanced way, so that I'm not feeling like I'm always just striving for the next thing. And then also to savor the experiences that I do have, whether I'm accomplishing a goal or whether I'm in the pursuit of the goal, like to be enjoying each moment rather than thinking about, like, I think if you have an achievement mindset too, you can get in this trap of always thinking, okay, I'll be happy in the future. I'll be happy when I achieve this goal or when I do this thing. And then of course you achieve the thing and it never feels as good as you think it's going to feel, because you always just come up with the next thing that you need to achieve. I don't know if this has been your experience, but this is this is kind of my experience. And so this year I want to be a lot more thoughtful about how I am relating to my goals and how I relate to this desire for achievement, and at least start. I want to set the intention to spend more time savoring each moment and enjoying my day to day, rather than being just so focused on the goals. Like at the same time, I still want to have my goals and I still want to achieve things, and I think that's like very important. But I think like, yeah, I want to find this like middle way between being super focused on achievement versus being super in the moment and not thinking about the future. I want to kind of find a balance between those two things. So yeah, it's not a specific goal. Maybe something that I can do to, one of the things I'm thinking about doing to help me with this is to get back into a regular meditation practice, which over the last year for me has lapsed. And so I think like by taking a moment to just be like paying attention to my mental state and like being very watchful for like, am I in this like striving energy? Am I in this like achiever mode? Then I can hopefully watch when those patterns are arising, and then just like kind of let them go or let them be, and not get wrapped up in it, if that makes sense. So that's with all that in mind, all the goals that I said, that's my hope for 2024. We'll see how well I do. But yeah, I hope you liked this video and you got some inspiration for your own art or your own creative practice. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and if you have any big goal that you're excited about for 2024. I'm also really curious to hear if you're really achievement motivated like me and like to set a lot of goals, or if you're more go with the flow and less focused on goal setting. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and as always, a huge shout out to my supporters on Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. If you like my art, if you like my videos, and you want to help me make more, check out my Patreon at the link. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.